Alright, I'm back. It's been longer. I intended to go 10 days, and I believe, alright, it's 16th. Today I think is the 29th, so now we're at 13 days. I've done 3 extra days in step 4 on the lotto here. Now, I'm a teacher. This has been my first week of school, so I've been swamped, and I haven't even been down in the basement to look at this in the last couple of days. So the reason I'm doing this now is I wanted to show, with the vibratory, you have to make sure you got enough water in there. If you just sit there and you let it run and run and run and run, it's going to muck up. So when I open that up, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to see. I'm betting that it's not going to be moving very well. And it's going to be pretty obvious that I needed to add some water, and I haven't done so. Okay, but now that I've said that, let's watch. I'm going to open this, and it probably won't be that bad. But let's see what we got here, and then we'll go from there. Get the rubber band off. Take the lid off, and let's see what we got. Oh yeah, look at that. See, it's obviously it's not moving very well. Let's see if I can get a little closer to that. Inside. Okay, yeah, it's not moving very well. Obviously it needed a little bit of water. But what I'm going to do is these are done. They're ready to come out anyway. So I'm going to add some Dawn. And I'm going to add some water. And by the time I deal with the rotary, these will probably have cleaned themselves off somewhat. And then I'll take them outside. Adding the Dawn makes it a little easier to clean these off. I probably don't need to put the rubber band back on. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go outside and take care of, get the rocks out of the rotary, and then I'll come back and I'll turn the camera back on when I'm ready to do what everybody's waiting for, which is weigh the 3 rocks that we're looking to see how much has come off in 13 days in straight 60 grit. Alright, be back in just a second. Okay, I haven't even finished making this video yet, and there's already a correction. In the first part of this video I said I went 13 days because I thought today was the 29th. Today is the 28th. So we went 12 days. So 12 days in straight 60 grit, which a lot of people will say after the first few days that grit will have broken down. I didn't get the full effect of it for the entire time, so the extra time didn't really make a huge difference. But whatever, it still had some coarseness to it, and it still was wearing at the rocks. Like I said, life caught up with me, and I didn't really have time. Well, in any case, on the 16th, the big piece of quartz, the river rock that I called it in the first video, was 8.6 ounces. Okay, and let me see, I think, I'm not exactly a scientist, but the rock is wet right now. I don't know that would make a huge difference, but let's take a shot and see what it looks. See how it looks. Oh, the scale just turned off. Okay, so I gotta take that off, turn the scale back on, let it zero out. Okay, let's see what we got here. We have 8.2 ounces, so we lost 4/10 of an ounce from this rock. 8.2 ounces. Okay, so that is the piece of quartz, putting it back into the rotary. And next up we have the piece of flint. Okay, I'm going to wipe the water off of there. We'll try to keep as much water off as we can. Let it zero out again. Okay, now the piece of flint was a problem. I was having a hard time finding it. And I actually was just about to go upstairs and look at my last video to see if, I'm looking for the right piece of rock or what. And then I figured out what happened. Okay, I found it, but it is now in 2 pieces. It broke. Okay, and I just tripped all over my piece of paper. But that's alright. Okay, so if you look, you can tell that this rock at one point fit together right like that, and it broke. Okay, so there are obviously probably fragments of it missing like you can see probably there. Yeah. So this weighing this is not really going to be completely accurate, but at this point we're at 4.2. So it was 4.6 in the last video, so it lost 0.4 of an ounce too, but that's not really an accurate portrayal because it is now in 2 pieces, and I guess you'll have that. Okay, the last one's a little piece of agate. I picked it because I knew it would be easy. It would be easy to pick it out. It's a pretty neat rock. I'm going to say actually though that this will probably be the last time I'll throw it in because now it's almost ready to move on to the vibratory. But the piece of agate, it still says 1 ounce. Okay, I'm not real surprised by that. Agate is pretty hard. So it is 1 ounce after 13 days. My scale's probably not, I'm certain it lost some, but my scale's probably not accurate enough to pick up the tiny amount that it has lost. Okay, so now I'm going to shut the camera off again. I've been working on the rocks that were in the rotary for probably about 15 minutes. So now I'm going to go get the vibratory, go outside, I'll clean it off. I'll clean those off, and they're done now. So when I come back, we'll just take a look at the final product out of the vibratory. And I've got some, you see that, some, but not a lot that I thought were ready to move on. So what I might do just to have a batch is to dig into some of my old rocks that I've tumbled and see if there's something that has some frosting on it or something like that that I might want to run through. A lot of the old quartz stuff I did, and amethyst, I was never really happy with the way it came out in the rotary. Maybe I'll give it another shot in the vibratory to give myself enough rocks to have a batch. So I'm going to hold off here, and I will be back in a minute when I've gotten the lotto outside and clean those off. And this is step 4, and they did like 5 days in step 4. But like I said before, the rock tumbling police aren't going to show up and arrest me because I did too long. I'm sure it didn't hurt anything, and I'll be back in, well, in internet time, next to no time at all. Alright, I'm back. Here are the rocks that were in the lotto. I kind of focused on this area, and I know there's more rocks back further you can't see, but what I figure is as I'm talking, I'll bring rocks up and I'll put them where you can see them, and I'll try to see if I can get it to focus there. But I actually, it never fails. If you turn the camera off, something happens that you wish you hadn't turned the camera off. Okay, so I went outside, and like I said, I let step 4 run for, ended up being, was it 3 extra days? Yeah, should have been, it was 3 extra days because it had been 3, 3, and 3 would have been 9. I was planning to go 10, so I was planning to go 1 extra day, but I ended up going 12, so I went 3 extra days. Alright, and as I said, I didn't get down here and put water in it in the last couple of days. So when I got out there, the ones on top were clean from the dawn, but I had a clump at the bottom. So what that tells me is in the last couple of days, about half the rocks in there weren't tumbling. And clumped to the point that when I dumped the rocks out, there was this big clump still stuck to the bottom of it. And being the genius I am, I decided I'm going to fix this by blasting the hose in it. And when that happened, ceramic media and basically borax paste blasted out of the thing because it's not that big, and I knew better, and went all over my shoe. So I'm sitting here now with a wet right foot, and you know, there you go. But overall, it came out pretty well. I had mentioned that I had some quartz and some amethyst that I didn't like the way it came out. Here is one piece that I put in, and I like it a whole lot better now. Okay, now this is something that I had tumbled before in a rotary. I had gone all the way through steps 1, 2, 3, 4 in a rotary. So it was already tumbled, so I went straight to the lotto. I didn't put this back in the rotary, and I just put it back in, kind of trying to do a surface polish on it. And I'm really pretty happy with the way this piece came out. I think it was pretty nice there. Here's another piece, same kind of thing. This is Smoky Quartz, and this is a darker piece, and it's not perfect. It's got cracks in it and stuff like that, but some of the frosting that was on there is not there anymore. Here's another piece, same deal, that I put back in and let it run a little more. I probably should have dug out a piece that has some frosting on it so I could show it. Maybe I'll do that when I'm done here. But that's the key with a rotary or with a vibratory tumbler. You got to check them periodically. You're always running this balance. If there's too much water in it, all the grit's going to sit on the bottom and it's not going to do any good, and the rocks aren't going to tumble right. Okay. If there's not enough water, you get like a paste and they stick to the bottom and they're not going to tumble right. So you got to kind of find that balance. And what I found is that's why I use a squirt bottle, because I can add a couple of squirts without messing up, putting up too much water in and messing it up. Here's a piece of tiger eye that I'm really happy with. I like it's got red, green, gold, of course, some blue in there. It's really a neat piece. I've not seen a whole lot like that. I've got a few out of that last batch I did, and this one has a rough spot right there. And this is one of those things where I'm getting to the point I got to get over the OCD and just accept that all these rocks are not going to be perfect and let them come out the way they are. Here's a piece of carnelian, I believe. My wife likes orange. Maybe I'll give this to her. Here's a piece of something I don't know what the heck it is, and I don't know where I got it. I might have got this from the river. I might have got it from Lake Superior. But it came out nice and shiny. Now here's the thing. I just put these rocks on this towel before I turned the camera on, so some of them were still wet. I think they're drying off pretty quickly. I've got a towel right here. I'll towel this off real quick so nobody thinks that I'm showing you a wet rock and claiming that it's shiny as it is or whatever. I wouldn't do that. If it came out not shiny, I'd show you it's not shiny. It happens. Believe me, it's happened. Okay, so there's the rock, and it is nice and shiny. I like that shiny. There you go. If you ever watch Me Miner, I'm probably stealing that from him, because he is always talking about the shiny, and that's the whole idea here. Here's a piece of hawk's eye or blue tiger eye, and I'm looking at the back of the camera, and it looks really dark, and usually when I get upstairs and look at the actual video, it's not quite as dark. So I hope that's the case. Here's another piece of that black jasper I had. This stuff tumbles really nicely. Look how it rounded out. It's got some nice smooth surfaces, no real cracks or anything like that. These are really pretty nice. Let me see if there's any. This is an interesting rock. I'm not sure where I got this. Once again, I should probably keep better track of that. It's a little bit wet. I'm gonna rub it on my pants. I could have used the towel I've got sitting right here, but evidently I didn't. So there it is. It's got some blue in it, but it has little holes in it, and it looks like it might even be pyrite in the holes. But really pretty neat rock, and it's obviously I think I could see there. It's got a little hole in it there. And here's the thing, if you watch a lot of my videos, I go for, I'll let rocks stay in the rotary for 7-8 weeks, trying to get them completely smooth, and here's the thing, if you're alright with a little hole like that, you can take it out a whole lot sooner. So, and there's no law against it or anything like that. Here's another piece of blue tiger eye, and this one it's got a rough spot right here, and sometimes you just got to accept that I'm not going to, I could tumble this long enough to get that off there, but I would lose a lot of the rock in doing that. And is that rough spot really worth losing all that much for? This is a piece of obsidian, okay? And obsidian is not as hard as most of the rocks that I'm tumbling. I forget what the exact hardness is, but this one is something that a lot of the rock tumbling people on the Facebook pages probably yell at me for even saying this, because everybody's always asking, can you skip step 1? Alright, you probably shouldn't. But I knew if I threw this in the rotary, step 1, straight 60 grit with all those other rocks, it probably would be completely gone by the time I came back. So I did throw this straight into the lotto, and I did steps 2, 3, and 4, and it came out and it was okay. I think there's a video of when it came out, the last video I have where I finished rocks. Well, I just threw it back in, and I did steps 2, 3, and 4 again. And this time it's pretty much, I think it's there. It doesn't have some of the like agate looking properties. I've seen some, I don't know, they call them sunburst obsidian or sunrise obsidian or something. I don't know, something like that. But it's a nice, smooth, shiny rock. It's kind of lighter weight, and that's how, you know, I can kind of tell the difference between this one is black jasper, this one's the obsidian, and weight-wise, this one is much heavier, and it's a much heavier rock, or a much harder rock. Here's a piece of agate that I had in there. Let me see if I have anything else interesting over here. So yeah, that obsidian does answer the question. In some cases, yeah, you can skip step 1. But that said, I can tell you this: if I took a rock like this and I skip step 1, it's not going to work. Step 2 is going to round some, but not much. Okay, so getting rid of all the angles and making some nice flat surfaces to get the shiny, for the most part, you're going to need step 1. And like I said, for me, I have like a continual running of step 1 in my rotary. So like today, I took a few rocks out. I'm going to have to add a few more rocks in. You know, and a lot of the stuff that was in there last time is going to stay in there because it's not ready to come out yet. But once again, you'd have that choice. If you're not as obsessive as I am about it, you don't care about a crack here or a little hole there, you could pull them out earlier and run them right to step 2. But if you don't have some nice smooth surfaces, you're just not going to get a whole lot of shiny. Alright, I'm going to shut the camera off. I'm going to take a quick look, see if I can find something, try to explain what I was talking about with the frosted on the quartz and the amethyst. And plus also that's what I'm going to put in for the next batch in the lotto. So I'll be back in just a couple of seconds. Alright, I'm back. I found a whole little container I had of, looks like smoky quartz and quartz. At one point I bought some quartz points, basically some long narrow pieces of quartz like this, and I tumbled them just to see what would happen. And as you see, it rounded them off pretty well, but some of them came out kind of like this. Now this isn't quartz. Off the top of my head, I can't think of what this is, but there's kind of, it looks like, they call it frosting, but it's probably damage from them bouncing off of other rocks. And the I think the vibratory is a little less abusive that way, and I think that's part of why I seem to get much better results out of the vibratory than I have out of the rotary. And so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw most of these in. I don't have a whole lot of rocks out of this batch, so I'm just going to throw a whole bunch of this quartz in there, and we'll see what happens with it. So probably in about 10 days we'll have a better look at that. I don't know if it's going to fix something like this. I don't know if you can see that. I think a lot of this is internal. There are cracks inside the rock, and if there's a crack all the way through the rock, you're not going to get rid of that. That's not frosting. That's just an imperfection in the rock, and you're not going to be able to get rid of it. So these are fairly shiny already. We'll see if running them through the vibratory improves them. It may not, but there's only one way to find out. I asked in the last video for suggestions on how to handle those 2 big pieces of jasper I've got, and I had some good suggestions. So I think what I am going to do is I'm going to, the big one, I don't even know where I put them. Okay, they're on the floor over there. I'm not going to go grab them. But the big dark red one, I think I'm going to break it up, and we'll see how that goes. And then the other one that's got the flat surfaces on it, I think I am going to try putting it in the rotary and filling it with pea gravel as cushioning, and seeing what it does. Now the thing is with that one, even if I get the edges of it nice and smooth, it's too big to put in a lotto. So I may still have to cut it in order to be able to fit it into the lotto. But we'll see how it goes. I think what I'm going to do is wait till towards the end of fall to do that. I live in Ohio, so I tend to shut down once it gets cold outside, because I just don't want to go outside and rinse off rocks in the snow. But that will be up and coming, and probably have another video in about 10 days, and we'll see what happened with all this quartz. Alright, take care, happy tumbling, good luck with your shiny, and I'll see you in the next video. Alright, hello. I'm going to add a little bit to the end of this video. I don't do a whole lot of this, but here I am in the video again. I just wanted to mention that I had a new subscriber, and they requested more videos because they've watched all but 3 of my videos now, and I can't tell you how tickled I am about that. So I was pretty motivated to get down there and get caught up and get this done tonight so I could get this video out tonight. But for a new subscriber who says she's new to rock tumbling, or for any new subscriber, there's something I want to show you, and I'm hoping I'm not going to get struck on YouTube for this, because I'm going to show a different YouTube channel. I'm going to hopefully not make anybody car sick, but I'm going to take the camera off of here. Sorry about the close-up of my neck there. And here is the computer. Let's see if I can get this to focus. You want to go to a channel called Michigan Rocks. It's a guy named Rob, and specifically there's a video, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see this in the video. It's called Rock Tumbling Tutorial for Rotary Tumblers, and I'm going to the stupid, and ceramic media. It's a fairly long video, but I'll tell you what, this guy makes, in my opinion, the best videos on rock tumbling on the internet. And I got stupidly, it's going to take 4 seconds to get past the ad, so I'm going to talk over that ad because I hate ads, and I hope you don't get a ton with me. There you go. His name's Rob. It's 55 minutes long, and if you're into rock tumbling, it'll be the best 55 minutes you've spent since you started rock tumbling. This guy knows his stuff. He gets fantastic results. I mention it pretty much every time when I do my vibratory that I use the recipe of grit that he uses, and I'm using the same tumbler that he uses. And as a Michigan guy and me being an Ohio guy, he could probably tell you how hard it is for me to recommend the Michigan guy, but he is the real deal. So if you have not, you should go check out his videos. I think specifically Rock Tumbling Tutorial for Rotary Tumblers and Ceramic Media. But I'll tell you what, he's got a ton of fantastic videos. Okay, so that's my recommendation. I think he puts them out more quickly than I do. He's up to 46,000 subscribers. I'm not that into it. He's a much better videographer than I am, and you know, I just kind of get a kick out of every once in a while my students will go, "Are you on YouTube?" And this would be the video they could verify, because usually my face isn't in the video, so they're not quite sure it's me. But then they, you know, and there you go. But hey, have a great one. Happy tumbling. Hope you get some great results. Check out Michigan Rocks.